Welcome to May Garden Gab. My name is Judy Russo.
And I'm Peter Eastman. And we're here to talk about starting a vegetable garden. May is typically when the weather warms up and it's time to put in our warm season vegetables. So think beans, think tomatoes, think peppers, think squash. It's game on now. Time to get them all planted. Probably the most exciting month of the year.
It is, it sure is. And so we've already added compost to this raised bed. So we're not going to tell you about that, but it is so important to add new compost to a raised bed. It's you want to have your plants go into fresh new soil. So Peter, let's get going.
All right, okay,
so,
all right.
You've already made this little trench here, and so what do you want me to plant in it?
Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is there's some of the vegetables that are real easy to plant from seed, not easy and economical, and probably the best example would be beans. You can buy bean starts, but they just come up from seed so fast. So we have kind of planted a little trench here, and we're using bush beans today. There's also pole beans, but pole beans would require a trellis. So what's nice about bush beans, if you don't really have a trellis or support, you can use bush beans. And you basically are just making a furrow right in here in the trench. You're putting those bean seeds down and you're patting it down. It's a good idea to mark the end of your row.
Definitely.
Right? And then you're going to go ahead and water right over the top of it. So those are going to come up in about 5 to 7 days. Beans are really, really quick to germinate. And again, since they're bush beans, no trellis is needed. But bush beans tend to ripen all at once, so you only get about 3 to 4 weeks of beans. So it's a good example of incorporating succession planting. So we're going to plant one row today, and then we're going to wait 3 to 4 weeks, and we're going to plant another row. That way, when the first ones are almost done, have come up, and the first crop is almost done, we've got a whole nother crop coming along, and you're extending your season.
Right. And you know, I see these kind of packs of onions in the garden center, and there's probably 60 plants in there.
This is a great economical way to plant your onions. You can also get onion sets, but with these, look at how many little baby onions you get. And the same thing, we're going to use we're going to just make a trench in the ground, and you're going to carefully split all those little baby onions apart, and then we're just going to lay them right in the trench. You can put them, you want to space them out, but you can put them pretty close together if you want. And just know as they grow, you're going to want to thin out every other one so that those onions bases, as they expand, the bulbs, you give them more space. The ones you thin, you can use as green onions. So you get 2 crops. You get spring onions, and then you'll get summer onions.
And I love this. And so you can do it like that, or there's like the bulbs of the onions. We call them onion sets. And you do the same thing. You would make your little trench, and then you could either plant these closer together, or you can plant them wider, and you can let them go to big onions, or you can pick them in between and have little spring onions for your salad.
Yeah, I think this with the sets, if you're looking for really big fat onions, you're going to get them. You're going to get them a little quicker than you would with the little baby ones.
And don't forget to mark your rows, because then you know where they are. You know where to water, so you're not watering the whole thing and wasting water. You might, you're not going to worry that it's a weed. Do I have to take that up? So make sure that you're marking where the rows are.
And you notice we've been doing north to south. So depending on your situation in your garden bed, it's always best to do your rows north to south so that they're getting full amount of the sun, every plant, right? And each plant isn't shading the other one.
Yeah, perfect. And the best part about summer gardens are tomatoes. I think everybody has those memories of doing it, or you look forward to having those fresh tomatoes that taste so good in your garden.
So we are talking about the queen of the summer vegetable garden, the tomato. So many different kinds, so many different types. Everybody has their favorite.
They do, I think, and I always put a different one in every year, because it's fun to have something that you didn't try the year before. So
we offer them in a couple, in 2 different sizes. For those, the most economical size that we offer it in is a little quart here, and it comes in a little fiber pot. And this one is, you just can plant the whole pot in the ground. This is cocoa fiber, and it's organic. It will rot right away. But for those people that are looking for a quicker start and earlier tomatoes, jump on the season, we do have these beautiful gallon tomatoes. So with here, we've got this guy here. He's got, we want to take off these bottom, you just want 1 liter when you plant, so if you've got any side shoots coming up, you're going to want to take those out. I'm going to obviously want to take it off the stake. We grow it on a stake when it's in our greenhouses, but once you get it home, you're going to take it. You're going to want to take this off. And one of the secrets to planting tomatoes, tomatoes are actually a vine, and we plant them sideways. So this is something we learned from Jack,
right?
From Jack Biggie. One of his hints to the success of, because he grew 100 tomatoes every year. So this is an indeterminate. This is Rapunzel. It's a cherry type, and it's an indeterminate, which means it's a vine-like tomato. So it's going to need a big cage, because they keep growing, growing, growing all season. The bush tomatoes, also known as determinate, tend to be a little earlier. Early girl's a good example, and they don't get quite as big. So the trellis doesn't have to be quite as big.
And we always want to plant them deep. If you want to do them on the side, you just get more roots, you get a stronger plant. They're able to take that heat in the middle of summertime. If you don't want to do it that way, just plant it deeper straight down. So it's really one of the only plants, I think, that you plant deeper.
Yeah, so we've got our Rapunzel vining cherry tomato planted here. One of the things we wanted to mention is what we put in the soil when we planted. So we planted it with the Al's Transplant fertilizer. That's the best fertilizer to put in with any of these vegetables that you're planting. And then we also added a little bit more lime. Now, we incorporated lime into the whole garden bed along with the compost earlier, but with your tomatoes and your peppers and your squash, it's a good idea to add a little extra more with it because of the added calcium and magnesium. So in about 3 weeks, we're going to come back and we're going to fertilize again with tomato tongue. Great fertilizer for all, not just tomatoes, but peppers, squash, because it's got added calcium in it again, which is great for the growth of all those fruits, your pepper fruit and your tomato fruits.
So when you come to the garden center, you're going to see lots of different cages, and so really you need to find out which tomatoes that you are going to be planting. We planted a cherry tomato that's indeterminate. It's going to get really big. So Peter has this really big cage, and it's really going to fill it up, but you wouldn't think right now, but by the end of summer it's going to be to the top of that cage.
And this is a nice cage because look, it folds for storage. It's kind of nice. It does that, and then you just pop it open like this.
You're ready to go. And then we do have smaller cages too if you get the determinate types of tomatoes. The smaller ones are fine. You can also use it, some people use it for their peppers. So really you can use a cage for other vegetables too. So we've talked about planting all these vegetables, but really May isn't too late to plant some lettuce. It'll really, it'll be able to be harvested before it gets too hot and gets kind of bitter. But put some of that in. You got lots of room in these raised beds. Just kind of poke them around. And what else you got? You got flowers. I wouldn't think about that.
Well, so most of the plants that we're planting right now, what we're eating is actually the fruits. So tomatoes, squash, peppers, beans. So they all need to be pollinated. So a great way to increase your yields and all your vegetable plants is adding some flowers. And not only does it make it look makes your raised beds look prettier, but you're going to attract those pollinators, which is going to give you a better set on your tomatoes, on your peppers, on your beans.
And you know, we have so many knowledgeable people at all 4 stores. You can go and talk to a purple person, go to our website, and we have lots of information there, but really come in and talk to us and get your garden ready for a great year.
Happy planting, everybody.